Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor and let's get right into this live stream because the market's moving, coins are pumping, and joyful June has begun. Let's talk about it. So, looking at things right now, we got some green out there. All right, Bitcoin did hit 110K, as we all can see right here. Price has pulled back to $108,650 at the current moment in time. And it does appear that joyful June has begun. What is joyful June? Right? You're probably wondering, what the heck is that? Why does it say it on the thumbnail? So let's get into a little bit of Twitter lore, some crypto lore. Here's Velo data, Velo XYZ. It's very good for seeing the funding rate and things like that. Very useful data platform. Anyways, they tweeted out, this isn't very joyful June of you. And this was to this guy, Degen Ping. Degen Ping is essentially this character that has come onto the scene. He's been here for a while, but he's just gotten very, very popular. And he's been forecasting moves this year. And he's been saying that June will be bullish, and he's been calling it joyful June. And here we go. Here's a tweet from May 22nd. He said, there will be those who doubt joyful June just like they did meditation March. Allocate April and MXE May before it. The deluded, full of aversion, cannot see what is in front of them. Right? So many people did actually doubt joyful June. Anyways, here we are. Market's pumping. And at this moment in time, it does look like we are set to go extremely higher. Not necessarily on Bitcoin. More so on altcoins, more so on Ethereum. Same thing I've been saying, same thing I've been repeating here in the channel. I think that the upside for Bitcoin is quite limited from this spot in the cycle. Okay, I think the real gains to be had from this point are going to be altcoins. It's been the complete opposite since 2023. This has been a Bitcoin-driven, Bitcoin-denominated cycle. However, that will not stay forever, and this is the time of the shift. So just to take all of the words out of it and just to make it very, very simple for everyone to understand. Altcoin season, basically. That's it. Altcoin season. That's what we're looking for. So let's get into things and let's get into these charts. Shout out to everyone in the live chat right now. Shout out to Fiat007. Shout out to Bartland. We'll look at Cookie and other AI agent coins like that in a little bit. Semi187. What is up, Semi? Asking about CPI data coming out tomorrow. Do you think a sell-off will occur? We'll talk about that in a moment. Shout out to Mitchell saying Aerodrome is flying. Many coins are flying. Many coins are flying, right? Aero, one of them. As you can see, very strong move out of the outline level, okay? So basically, we said 50 cents. We said maybe it wants to go into the low 40s, but basically, we got to be buyers now here. And anyways, pump. Big pump out of it. So, many coins have put in similar moves, but yeah, 17%. That's a very solid pump for sure on Aerodrome. FBS, what is up? FPS is a banger with treble swap. Yeah, treble swap also. I mean, look, everything's pumping. Everything's pumping. Treble's at 50 cents, so that's looking pretty good to me. It looks like it is screaming to go higher. We'll see how everything shapes up. But just the most beautiful rounded bottom you can see. What a nice rounded bottom. Pun intended. Ha ha ha. Hopefully you guys get the joke. But no, seriously, let's get serious for a second and get our mind out of the gutter. Yeah, this thing looks ready to fly higher out of that rounded bottom. Smash that like button. And Green Chili Pepper's feeling poetic today. He says, who sold in May and walked away? Don't dismay. Connor is here to save the day. Don't be a grump and fear a dump. Regardless of Trump, June will pump. I absolutely love it. That is bars, Green Chili Pepper. I love the rhyme and reason that you're posting in the live chat today. Thank you for all of the support. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Let's get into these charts and get serious, guys. Talking about the majors. First thing, Bitcoin dominance. And we just got a super chat roll through. One second. Let me refresh my page here in the studio. Shout out to Chris Dick with the £5 super chat saying, let's go, with multiple exclamation points. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Smash up that like button. Let's go. Let's get some more hype in the chat, guys. Anyways, Bitcoin dominance. So we hit that level we were discussing at 64.78%. What's really interesting is TradingView is like, I wonder if they do this on purpose. I think they do it on purpose, where if we go to the daily time frame, you can see that price never came into this order block here on the daily time frame, right? Came shy of it. If we go to the 12-hour, it went all the way through it. This is why we always got to be looking at multiple time frames on our charts here, because sometimes the time frame looks like it didn't actually hit the level, when if you change the time frame, it turns out it really did hit the level, right? So that's why it's super important to always be looking at that, multiple different time frames, seeing if a level did actually get taken. But now Bitcoin dominance fully took this level, all right? So we are looking for price to once again close below our key swing on the weekly. And our key swing is over here. It's 63.17%. In my very own humble opinion, if we can close a weekly candle on Bitcoin dominance beneath 63.2%, we are going to see this thing crater. And when this thing craters, we will get our altcoin season. So it's close. And if we can get the weekly close beneath 63.2, I'd say we're headed towards our macro target, which is sub 50%. If we want to be extremely specific, it's 47 to like 44%, basically. We're looking at this weekly time frame fair value gap over here. So yeah, this is like 47 to 44% as our macro target for Bitcoin dominance. If we can close beneath our key swing all the way up here at 63.2%, I'd say we are going to start cratering like a comet falling from space to that level. Right, something like this is what we can expect if we're going to get a crazy, altcoin season. Just crater down. We'll see. Keep watch, okay? Keep watch. One thing to note is going back to our daily. Let's go to our 3-day. So we still have not necessarily fully taken the upwards level. It all depends what happens first, okay? Right? We have reasons that this is topped out. To really confirm the top, we want to close underneath the key swing. If we do end up taking the level up here at 66, 67%, that would also be, in my opinion, kind of like the equivalent of breaking the key swing. If we took the level fully up here at 66, 67%, that's top, in my opinion, okay? So this is very close to topping out. And of course, when it tops out and falls, altcoins pump like crazy because capital goes out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. I know you might be thinking, Connor, what about USDT? Don't coins pump when this drops? Yes, of course, right? But we've seen all cycle long. Every time this thing drops, and it's bottomed out every time at 3.8%, most of the money has gone into Bitcoin. Yes, there are some outlier altcoins that catch a lot of liquidity and they pump really, really hard. But for the most part, whenever USDT dominance drops, we see most of the money go into Bitcoin. So that is why it's so important that Bitcoin dominance drops. That's it, right? We need the money to go to alts. So even if USDT does drop further, we still need Bitcoin dominance to drop alongside with it if we're going to get altcoin pumpage. And I think that will happen. Anyways, let's get into this chart and what we should now be looking out for. So we had an interesting turn of events here, basically, where on Saturday, or actually this happened on Thursday, but on Thursday we took the level over here at 4.9%. Okay, we discussed that in length and detail for a long time before it happened. It happened. Now we basically have seen price come right back down to this previous range where it spent a lot of time. So one thing that is very important here is to look at how the daily candle actually closed. I'm talking about this daily candle, this one that just closed. If we look at the daily candle, it closed well underneath the previous week low here. This is a confirmed break of structure, a confirmed breakdown. So this leads us to believe that this chart is going to continue to head lower, which is very, very good for coins, for altcoins. Okay. We are expecting lower here on USDT dominance at the current moment in time with this daily close. We should, however, be weary of price doing a shallow pullback. At this point in time, I think pullbacks are going to be pretty shallow and short-lived. This is what happens in an aggressive uptrend. In an aggressive uptrend, we don't necessarily get the really big, crazy pullbacks like we would when price is just kind of, not in an aggressive uptrend. So with that being said, where are we looking? 12-hour time frame supply. That's where we're looking. And this is also the monthly open, okay? So the monthly open is at 4.74% for June, and there's 12-hour supply up to 4.8%. So this would be a shallow pullback, okay? To come up here, little shallow pullback, and then continue to crash lower. And ideally, we have our higher time frame close below 4.37%, which again, we've had this on the chart since February. We've been waiting for this since February, basically, for a higher time frame close below 4.37%. And it looks like we are at the precipice of getting that. Is that how you pronounce that word? I believe it is, precipice. Always looking to expand my vocabulary, And I think reading is very important to do that. I think reading is like going to the gym for your brain. So if you're wondering how do you train your mind, you got to read books. But anyways, back to crypto. Got an ice cold Diet Coke tonight, lads. Cheers. Sometimes you got to treat yourself to a little DC. So anyways, USDT dominant, shallow pullback to 4.73 to 4.80%, and then we get the higher time frame close below, and we get altcoin season. That's what we're looking for. USDC dominance can be applied in the same way that USDT dominance can be applied, and I think it's always good to take a look at that as well. Let's get into Bitcoin, and then we'll look at the totals. And of course, we got to look at altcoin. I want to spend most of today's live stream looking at altcoins because, like I said, I think Bitcoin has quite limited upside. And I think altcoins are going to finally outperform, like broadly outperform here. So looking at BTC, we pumped up to $110,643, and we have seen a small rejection from that spot. Okay, we pulled back here to 109. Again, applying the analysis we just looked at USDT dominance, if we were to see a move here up to this level near the monthly open, it's around 3.5%, right? So going back to Bitcoin, if we were to see a similar type of move, where would that take us, guys? It would take us right to our Monday low. All right, it would take us right to the Monday low if we were to see a 3.5% move. What do we like about the Monday low? Well, we know it because we're bias bullish. If we end up deviating our Monday low and also coming back inside of the previous range, that is a deviation of the Monday low to be a buyer of. And we likely see a new all-time high if it plays out like this, of course. Because I don't unfortunately have a crystal ball. I just see this as something that looks like it can happen from here. So let's keep our eyes peeled for $105,271 on the Bybit perps chart, and that is the Monday low. There's multiple things going on here at this level. Actually, there's also this trend line, which, as you can see inside of this ranging structure, it would also come into play right near the price we were just talking about of the Monday low. And also the monthly open is right there as well. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here, basically $105,000 on Bitcoin. And like I said, I'm not expecting any huge pullbacks from here. I think the pullbacks are going to be quite shallow. And this would be it would be too easy, right? It would be like shooting fish in a barrel. But sometimes when you have a good read on it, it really is like that. So this potentially could happen, okay? Potentially look out for 105K for a shallow pullback and then new all-time high. And here is ETH. So ETH looks great. Here's the daily candle. We can see that we wicked above the other wick from the 29th of May over here. So this made a new high. It has pulled back. As of right now, this is a swing failure pattern. So in general, it is ETH's time to finally shine and outperform. So we are looking for ETH to clear this supply area, to finally clear this supply area from here. Now we just discussed the potential scenario of a shallow pullback, right? And if USDT dominance is going to go up slightly and Bitcoin's going to pull back slightly, maybe we see ETH also do something similar. So one thing to note here on the 12-hour is all of this got left behind on this pump. Okay, this all got left behind. And that would also be right at the 50% level. Also at the Monday mid-range. So I'm liking the Monday mid-range for a shallow pullback on Ethereum. This is at $25.86, $2,586. Because I'm expecting Ethereum to continue to hold stronger and not necessarily dip as much, this would make a lot of sense. Just below 2,600 and then finally crack 3,000. In reality, 3,250 is our next target level higher for Ethereum. So yeah, watch for that shallow pullback to 25.86, the Monday mid-range, the monthly open area, right? The monthly open is not too far away. That's the level to watch for, okay? And then yeah, real quick, let's go over these. Total pulled back, hit the key level at 3.14 trillion, like we were talking about before the move happened. Always before the move happened, right? And big breakout. Total 2 partially took, never fully hit 1.08 trillion, but nonetheless, after partially taking the level, coming into this fair value gap, big pump. Total 3, same thing. It hit the exact key level we outlined at 805 billion pump. Others fully filled the fair value gap, never close underneath it, pump. So all the totals are looking good for continuation. Again, maybe we get a shallow pullback, and if that does happen, we should likely be looking towards the all of this weekly open, Monday low, monthly open. On the total, that's going to be like 3.25 trillion for a little shallow pullback. So in general, that's the play. All right, we're bullish, and Joyful June is here. We're expecting altcoin outperformance. That's it. Let's take a look at what's going on here in the chat. So first of all, let's address Bartland's question about Cookie DAO. Okay, we still like this chart. So Cookie, this is some pretty clean price action. Right? This is bull market stuff, guys. Like breakout, retest the breakout perfectly, and then start to pump again. So yeah, Cookie looks primed for continuation. And let's go put some stuff on the chart. let's make sure we label things properly. Zip through this. All right, so cookie. If this turns out to play out, I mean, it sounds better like coming from other people, but like if this plays out, I'm goated, man. Like, but it's too early to say. I'll let you guys be the judge and what. But what we're looking for here on cookie potentially would be a pullback to this level here on the 4 hour. It's going to be at 130 million market cap. And the actual price would be, okay, so notice how it already came into that fair value gap on the daily. I can't take that much time to look at these coins. There's too many coins to look at. But cookie, because it's the first one we're looking at today, will take some time. So the price is going to be 23 to 24 cents if that happens, right? Just pretty simple stuff, right? Daily time frame, fair value gap. Lower the time frame and you got stuff there, right? Previous supply level completely disregarded. Good chance it can flip to demand. So yeah, look out for that on cookie. Again, 23, 24 cents. Okay, so Semi says, good to see you. And he asked, with the CPI data coming out tomorrow, do you think a sell-off will occur? What's your thesis? So Semi, looking at the total liquidity charts, I basically discussed that scenario where a shallow pullback may happen, but I'm really not expecting a major sell-off. So that's the thesis. And yeah, Mitchell's talking about Arrow. So notice the timing, right? I'm definitely not perfect, but I always try and time things correctly. And here, this aerodrome video we made on the 26th of May. When the price was at 68 cents, look at the analysis, right? Look at the analysis. The two levels given to buy. 51 cents, 41 cents. Back to the chart. What happened? I never moved those price labels from the video, by the way, either. Right? Those price labels are in the same spots they were. Well, yeah, the first level got hit, and anyone who bought is up to like 20% or whatever. So, yeah, that's just how we do it. Like I say here, my job isn't to make people happy. My job is to make people money, and that's by being right, by doing things like this. Smash up the like button if you guys like the content. Tell your friends, tell your family, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Thank you for all of your support. Seriously, guys. Thank you for your support. But yeah, like, the goal here is to be accurate and to be precise with our market analysis. So I try and bring my best. I appreciate you guys supporting me, and we'll keep on chipping away. And yes, FBS also mentioned Treb at the beginning of the stream, and we talked about it, right? So it looks great for upwards continuation. Retribution Tail is asking about any subnet you should be paying attention to for Tao. So looking at the current standing of these subnets, Shoots is still the number one, obviously behind Root staking. Now most of my Tao is in Root. You guys remember my Tao subnet strategy. It basically incorporated only putting a small amount of Tao into the subnets initially because of the risk factor involved. And that turned out to be the correct move. If I would have gone heavy and used all of my Tao to buy subnets, I would have a lot less Tao than I have now, okay? So hopefully you guys didn't gamble on the subnets and you took the calculated approach to only use a percentage of your Tao, right? Absolute maximum 20%, but I didn't even use that much, right? And yeah, but anyways, anyone you should have your eye on. So the list hasn't necessarily changed, right? Shoot's still in contention, very bullish. Looking at some of these other ones, I still like 19, 42. I met the Bitmine team at ETH Denver, and it intrigued me. But their performance has not necessarily been anything exciting. Thing is, all of these subnet charts are like pretty destroyed. So yeah, in general, I would say that my picks haven't really changed from the launch of Dynamic Tao in February. Kaido King having a bright and sunny day. Shout out to Kaido King. Shout out to the Albert. Shout out to Declan Wyatt saying smash the like button on your way in for the best TA there's ever been. Thank you, Declan, for that very nice comment. Vikey Odin already smashed the like button. Messini, did anyone else get cooked on DEAI? Got a bag since months and it doesn't seem to reach 2024 levels. DEAI. So this is a shit coin. DEAI. This thing is a scam. And this is, I basically expressed my concerns over it a long time ago. And my opinion hasn't changed. This coin is bullshit. The team, or they got hacked. I think it was right here at the top. They got hacked. It's just a LARP AI coin. There's nothing special about it other than maybe some marketing. So yeah, this coin sucks. I never bought it. I always fudded it basically here on YouTube, and for good reason. It's like a shit coin. Shout out to Guts Motors. Vikey Odin says, what are your thoughts on the potential of treble swap? What's a good exit from Treb? Well, the current market cap is $2.5 million. So in my opinion, this is still very undervalued. What's a good exit? I mean, that really depends on what you're after, what your goals are. Some people wouldn't even be happy with a 20x, right? Some people would be ecstatic and thrilled with a 3x. So it totally depends on you and your goals, man. But I see this thing going way higher. I think $2.5 million market cap is extremely undervalued. And I think it's quite possible we see this thing in 10x or potentially much even higher from here. So yeah, it depends on what you are looking for and what would allow you to reach your goals for an exit for treble swap, because everyone's number is going to be different. Everyone has a different bare minimum. Everyone has a different baseline. So I just know I see it as extremely undervalued given the project's caliber and the low market cap it's at. Narala, hi Connor, how are you, brother? What's your thoughts on Sonic? Well, I'm doing well, to answer the first part of the question. Thoughts on Sonic daily time frame? Well, yeah, it looks bottomed out, right? I mean, this is just a super long basing period. If we're going to see altcoin season, I mean, there's a very good chance that it is bottomed from here and will begin to rise. That's my thoughts on Sonic. And let's take a look at some news on the day right now, guys. So again, we already talked about Degen Ping and Joyful June. And this guy is like looked at as a prophet nowadays on crypto Twitter. People making memes, everyone gathering around. Right, here is the trading act. He says, be happy that these two billionaires, joyful June, basically, degen ping mode. So we're in joyful June. Now, there's a lot of talk right now about Kobe's new platform to allow retail to participate in venture capitalists' private sale raises. And his platform is called Echo. And yesterday, somebody asked me about Plasma in the live chat, but a private sale called Plasma went live, and they were raising $500 million, and it filled within minutes, okay? And you had to register on the Echo platform. You had to do KYC, right? Because you're investing in like a pre-sale and all this through Kobe's company. And a lot of people just wanted to invest and then be able to get their tokens instantly so that they can sell for a profit. That's basically what happened in meme coins, right? People make the coin out of thin air with no vesting, and then they can instantly dump on everyone who buys after them. That's what everyone expected from this new platform and the first coin Plasma on Echo. But things didn't turn out that way. Let's look at this comic from Bold Leonidas. So everyone, this is retail in general on the left side, right? VCs get free money with seed deals. Kobe says, okay, here's Echo. And then retail's like, and I can just sell when I want. And then the fine print says, no, it's vested, the same as the venture capitalists have their coins vested if they invest in a seed round. And retail says, no, I wanted to dump on day one. They're all upset. Right, so that's basically what happened with the Echo first raise for the Plasma project. A lot of people didn't realize there would be vesting terms or whatever. They thought it was going to be a meme coin and they can dump instantly. It just goes to show you the intelligence level of most people in the market. Anyways, moving on. So more about this Echo and another tweet from Dr. X. So 500 million US dollars that were sidelined went directly into the Plasma sale within minutes. Again, the Plasma sale was the first one on Echo. $500 million went into this within minutes. We haven't seen that since 2017. And we got people on here talking about the bull market being over. You don't see that level of FOMO and risk-on willingness in bearish territories. Trillions. Dr. Axios, Retar, Dio. So basically, Trading Axe here is saying that there's risk appetite out there. $500 million was raised in minutes yesterday for Kobe's first sale on his platform. That doesn't happen in bear markets. That happens when people are expecting risk-on conditions and they're expecting price accrual to the upside. There's risk appetite out there. I don't know if you can feel it. I feel it. It's risk-on, basically. So it's a very good time, basically, for the crypto market. And with that, it's the summer. It's June 10th. Typically, the market is very slow over the summer. It's almost as if a lot of people's minds have been conditioned to anticipate the market to substantially slow down over the summer. And they're expecting the same thing this time around. What if this time is different? What if the summer won't be just choppy? What if we end up actually having a really bullish summer? Would you be prepared for that? Do you hold crypto? Do you hold enough of it where you care if prices surge to the upside? Would you be happy? Would you feel underexposed? Because we have to understand, looking at USDT dominance, like we discussed here, we just closed this break of structure, right? We just closed this daily candle underneath this swing low over here. Okay, the breakdown on this and the breakup on altcoins has literally just started. So if they end up going up all summer long until July, late July, August, would you be prepared for that? If no, you might not have a great summer. I don't know. Because personally, I'm prepared for it. And yeah, I think that this summer is going to be a little bit different from what we've seen in the past few summers here in the world of crypto. Anyways, risk on. Also, MicroStrategy has acquired an additional 1,045 Bitcoin at an average price of $105,426 per Bitcoin. All right, so another 1,000 Bitcoin going into Sailor's treasury. Average price 105.4K. Sailor continues to be a whale and buy no matter what the price. We'll see how it all ends. We'll see if he ends up selling, when he ends up selling. But as of now, he is still only buying. And then one more piece of news for the day. I thought this was quite interesting. This picture kind of looks like AI. But anyways, this is Vlad Tenev. He is the CEO and co-founder of Robinhood, of course, the American brokerage firm that routinely likes to pause shorting and selling and things like that. But this was interesting. So today, they proposed a bill, and they said if passed, it will provide $1,000 in a brokerage account to every American child at birth. That's pretty interesting. Through Robinhood. So every time an American citizen is born, they will automatically get a $1,000 brokerage account in Robinhood. And I assume they won't be able to touch it until they're 18 years old, like take money out of it. You can obviously add to it. You can change your positioning. But typically with these things, you can't necessarily withdraw until you're 18. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting to me. And I think it would obviously be a step in the right direction in terms of financial literacy. But a lot of people still would probably just try and take that $1,000, and like, even though it's their kids' money, they'll probably try and take it for themselves because most people just simply don't understand. But anyways, this is interesting. We'll see what happens of it. Again, this is like positive news, risk on type of stuff. We're in a risk on environment. We're bullish. So let's get into coins and let's get into altcoins. Trucker Steve needs a break from the loony snowflakes in California. Yes, sir. That's why we do it. Okay, we got some super chats rolling in. My apologies for missing these, but we have a super chat from Guts Motors. And Guts Motors says, just want to say, watching you has helped my trading immensely. More disciplined, more patient, more planning ahead and execution. Thank you, brother. Well, Guts Motors, that is a really nice super chat. And I just want to say I appreciate your support. I'm glad that my streams help you out. And yeah, like that's why I do it. Right? I do it for comments like this, man. Thank you. And we have another super chat from Patrick Allen. He says, if Tao finally ends up pumping, where do you see it by the end of the altcoin cycle? Basically a Tao price prediction. By the way, Tao came right to 350, which was an outline buy zone. And it's like in the past, I would like go and play the point in the other live stream where I said, yeah, Tao at 350 is a buy. But at this point, like I go live so consistently and I have the same people watching me where you guys already know we talked about that. I don't need to like prove, well, I did this, guys. Like you guys saw it, right? So that's another thing about why I appreciate everyone in the live chat, right? You guys keep me accountable. You keep me in check. But you're also like, you see everything that happens here. And, you know, you give me, you guys give me credit too. So, I mean, thank you for all the support. But anyways, what is the Tao price prediction? So we already have some boxes on the chart, as you can see. So we'll see. But more likely than not, we're looking at these fib extensions. 1100 to 1800. Maybe it pushes to 2000. These are realistic numbers. Of course, I would love to see Tao go to $10,000 per coin. But as of right now, we don't want to get caught holding bags back down to zero in the bear market. So if we said we're not selling anything until Tao goes to 10K, that's a very dangerous mindset to have, okay? If we look at things and say, look, if Tao reaches like 1100, that's a level we said and could be the macro top based off of Fibonacci extension levels. And then if that happens, we'll be like, oh, damn, Tao hit 1100. Like, we should probably take profit. So that's why it's very dangerous to have a fixed mindset and say like 100x or bust, 10K per Tao or bust. I think it's important to have realistic numbers. Of course, we don't just want to use this chart blindly. When the time comes, we want to look at where the majors are, okay? Because if USDT dominance is at 3.3% and Tao is at 1800 or 1500, we know, okay, like that. This is where the macro top we said it would be. This is what we planned for months. So we're going to sell. We want to use these things together in confluence. All right. Who else is giving you this free game on YouTube? Let me know. Who else is giving the free game? I'm sure there's other really great people out there. But the thing is, it's always few and far between. There's basically like 100 shitbags and then like 3 good people. And that's just how it is. So anyways, who else is giving this to you for free on YouTube? But yeah, we want to use everything in confluence. Vikey Odin giving his Coke greater than table. Shout out to Kaido King for correcting my pronunciation. Shout out to All Day Dre, guys. Smash up the like button. Perry says, do you see Bitcoin dominance going to 70%? Before topping out? We talked about it at the beginning of the stream, Perry, but basically we said if we end up closing the weekly beneath the key swing, we are all systems go. But if we also end up going and filling the level from 66 to 67%, that's tops for me. Kev T. ICP. So ICP's never been a coin I've been too interested in. So he's been holding for 2 years. It's been a hard ride. Yeah, I mean, if you were in any altcoin holding for 2 years, it would have been a hard ride. So that's pretty much the same across the board. And the chart, it looks like a good chart. Here's the weekly time frame. You basically just have another weekly accumulation lake. And many charts look the same. They look similar. So, I mean, there's one more weekly fair value gap down here at the bottom at $3. This will get filled in the bear market. It looks like they left it behind so that they can pump it up first. And we got another super chat rolling in. We got a super chat from Webs113 with a $4.99 super chat. This is an interesting one. He said, I Airbnb'd my home so I could go all in on treble swap. I'm camping outside until it breaks out. Homeless, but I know what I hold. That is conviction right there. That is, I mean, it's ballsy. but it's also very epic. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. Thank you, Webbs, for the super chat. And yeah, I mean, look, you took a risk, and it depends when you bought Treble, right? Look, I made a video about the public IDO before it went live at 10 cents. And anyone who watches the channel here, anyone who watches my videos, had that opportunity to buy Treble tokens for 10 cents. It launched at 12 cents. It went to like 12 to 20 cents within the first 3 days. And then it shot like a rocket ship to $3.72. It basically did a 35x from the public IDO price. But anyways, I assume you're already in a profit. So I assume you're in a good position camping out in your camper van while your Airbnb is rented out. So yeah, keep the positive mindset, man. And like I said, I think Treb is very undervalued. So I'm looking forward to continue to push up. And we'll continue to update on everything that happens, all the new developments with the project. It does look like I will be doing an interview with their CEO, Rob. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening with Treb, and I'll keep on sharing updates about the project as they do come out. But anyways, thank you for the super chat. Guts says, Weps, you're a madman. Yeah. I mean, like, Airbnb-ing your house isn't that crazy. It's not like you put your house up for sale, right? Like, that would be crazy. But like an Airbnb, it's like, all right, that's not that wild, but yeah, it's still like, it's just very pattern. It's not something you see every day. Or nobody really says that every day. It's a rare thing. So yeah. Let's see. Shout out to Georgios. He says, smash the like button, guys. Best altcoin with the highest profitability to get in a long. All right. Good question, Georgios. Good to see you. So again, if we get a little shallow pullback, if anyone is wondering, by the way, Doge as well. Right, Doge's level was at 18, and it did end up going down to 16.7, but it's back up to 19. Okay, so hey, level wasn't perfect. It overshot it a bit. It just kind of came into this structural level over here, this local low. But we weren't that far off the mark here on Doge. Okay, so Doge for continuation is definitely something to consider, in my opinion. Now, while we have, it's Tuesday. So we have a fresh Monday range to work off, guys. So we want to be able to use this Monday range, right? We want to use this Monday range. Already on Doge, we see the sweep of the Monday high. All right, so let's stay patient. And let's see if we get a sweep of the Monday low, which is going to be down here on Dogecoin. Now, there are some moments in time where when we're in really bullish conditions, the Monday mid-range kind of acts like the Monday low in the sense where price will sweep the high. It will pull back to the mid. It won't go to the low, and it will just break out. We may have a week like that because things are quite bullish and we're seeing a breakout after, waiting for quite a while. But yeah, let's use our Monday range. So I mean, XRP too, like I said last stream, we're going on a generational run. We are. We're in that generational run. Here's XRP. Outline level 215. Right? Here's the little green or orange shaded box I put on. Look at this. Right into our orange shaded box. A little pumpage. All right, so now Man, that works out super well, okay? So XRP looks like a good one. Reason being, daily time frame, fair value gap. Where's the Monday low? It's right at the start of the fair value gap. So if we see XRP come down to 222 to 219, that is somewhere to look for longs. Okay. And you can play it pretty tight, but make sure you line that up. Try and line it up with USDT dominance coming up here to like 4.74. And that looks like a pretty good trade opportunity on XRP in that daily time frame. FVG. Axie. Let's actually talk about this. So gaming coins. Let's take a look at our gaming coin list over here. I haven't updated this in a while, but it does have most relevant gaming coins on. Now, what's interesting, to me, what's interesting at least, with gaming coins haven't moved since late 2023. We're basically coming on 2 full years of gaming coins only going down. At this point in time, everyone is frustrated with gaming coins, right? People have been holding them. They've just been going down. AI is a very popular thing. I even said it myself here a few weeks back. I said myself I'm more interested in AI than gaming. I think AI is more relevant than gaming. The interesting now is I'm seeing that exact statement passed around a lot in a lot of different places, a lot of different groups. There are many people now saying, oh, we shouldn't even focus on gaming because AI is better and real world asset coins are better and all these other memes are better, right? Like, let's not even pay any more attention to gaming. I'm seeing this now as a consensus. So me, myself, naturally being a contrarian, it made me think, what if the moment where everyone started saying that they don't care about gaming, that the whales decided to pump that narrative? Just something to think about. What if? What if it ends up playing out like that? It would be pretty typical, right? It would be a typical manipulative type of move that we see all the time in the crypto market. Make everyone so conditioned to believe that gaming will never come back to then pump the coins from the ashes. It really sounds like something that could really happen. So with that, I posted in the Mastermind yesterday. But even something like Axie, it's worth looking at. Okay, so it never came into this level over here at 197. But this is the Axie chart, okay? It is lower than where it was in the 2022 and 2023 bear market. It has completely, essentially filled all of these levels, okay? Like we talked about, it left behind the sub $2 level. Maybe it leaves that behind further. But in general, yeah. Right, like this is the weekly time frame. This is the 2022 bear market. This is the 2023 bear market. This is the 2024 altcoin 8 month sideways bear market. This thing held at $4. Just now, this thing went to a low of $2. It's at $2.50 now. This is the lowest it's been all cycle, at a point in time where everyone all at once has come to the consensus that they now hate gaming and they don't care about gaming coins anymore. If there was ever a time for gaming coins to pump, it is right freaking now. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, Prime as well. Axie, card game. Echelon Prime, card game. Very similar type of game, play style. So Prime as well is one to consider. But yeah, in general, gaming, it might just be time for those coins to make a comeback. We'll see. We shall see. Here's Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid on the daily time frame is making a new all-time high. So where's our 618 extension? 52. And our 0.27, I believe we're on it. Yeah, just about. Okay, so the 0.27 is at 42. So maybe this wants to hit 42 at the 0.27 Fibonacci extension. And then, like we talked about, pull back. But in general, right, I know a lot of people probably have FOMO about Hyperliquid. Like, oh my God, I missed this one. It doesn't make sense to be a buyer up here. All right, maybe it will be the token of the cycle that just goes up forever. But chances are it's not. Okay, chances are it's just like a chart that looks like this doesn't make sense to be a buyer at all-time highs. Right? It's kind of like Fartcoin, where it just defies the entire market. Anyways, okay, looking at something like Popcat, right into the buy zone. Last Thursday, when USDT hit 4.9% and big pump. For continuation, the Monday mid-range doesn't look bad because it also has this daily time frame partial in it. Actually, never mind. That got filled already. It got filled perfectly. So that's already used. In general, right now for continuation plays, we want to use the Monday range. And the ideal scenario would be a sweeps of Monday's low for every coin. That's ideal, to see a sweep of Monday's low. And yes, YouTuber Go Kill Cubic has broken out of the bull flag. Actually, has it? Yeah, it has. Yes, it has broken out of the bull flag. Okay, so another one where we have turned out to be correct. Cubic breakout bull flag. It's happening. It is indeed happening. These daily candles, it would be nice if they closed higher, but as of right now, we do have the start of the breakout. So yeah, it looks good. Cubic does look good to me. Let's see. We got Glaucus SR5. He says, Connor, what are your real thoughts on Alex Becker? Champ or chump? So Alex Becker, my thoughts on him. Genius internet marketer. Genius internet marketer. He knows how to get people emotional. He knows how to entertain people. And he's not boring. People either love him or they hate him. This is a concept called polarization, where you either hate someone or love someone, like Trump. People love Trump or they hate him. No in between. That's Alex Becker as well. His takes on crypto are very sub-average, below average, but it doesn't matter because he is such a good marketer that people will listen to what he's saying even if his information he talks about on crypto is completely wrong. So champ or chump, I would say I respect his work ethic. How he plays the game is like a marketer. In general, marketers tend to be snakes because marketing a lot of the times is like bullshit, making a product look way better than it really is. So marketing is a very snake-like thing. But those are the people that by far make the most money because they know how to market. So he's very smart. And it's a thin line between like being very smart and being a snake, and he plays that line very well. That's my take on Alex Becker. Opinion on treble. We've talked about treble swap multiple times this live stream. My opinion on treble is that it's undervalued. Ricky Ricardio says, what's so ironic about XRP is that it hasn't even hit all-time highs yet. I believe it will. Shout out to Dan Griffiths. Great to see you. I've seen others says charts like Axie are a slow rug and the volume is low. Why isn't is garbage? So if the whales want to pump something, they're going to pump it. They don't like... We play a whale game here in crypto. Glaucus, does it make sense to buy Cubic as it's breaking out? So in general, most holders of Cubic are still in a loss. Okay, people that ended up buying at the bottom or close to the bottom are now up like 60%. Right? So I don't think it's too late to buy it. I don't think it's too late to buy it. I mean, ideally, you get in on a pullback, you get in on a dip. But yeah, I mean, maybe this is the start of the actual breakout and that doesn't happen, okay? So most people are still, that have been holding this coin are still at a loss. So, and the people that bought the bottom are up like 60%. Maybe the people that bought the exact bottom are up 100%, but that's very few people. So I don't think it's too late to buy Cubic. And the targets, we know the targets, right? This is a potential level. And this is like, what, 40% higher? Yeah, 40% from current price. And then your next target's up here, right? So it's like 100% gain. 150%. And then we can talk about all-time highs and price discovery and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think there's money to be had here, money to be made. Now, in general, we have Bitcoin at $109,000, guys. So just to sum it all up, potentially we're going to get a shallow pullback, but I'm not expecting major dips. Very likely this is the start of an aggressive summer breakout. And we do have our Fed meeting next Wednesday, and that is going to be bullish. We've talked about this in other streams, right? We're expecting the Fed meeting in June to be bullish. And then the one in late July, probably a different story. But that one in late July is 6 weeks after this one in June. That's a 6-week runway to pump. You guys know that song by Kid Rock, All Summer Long? Well, listen, June, July isn't all summer long, but it's still the majority of summer. It looks like we may have a little pump all summer long. Cue the Kid Rock song, if only we could play it here. But we're going to wrap up on that note, guys. Thank you all for being here. Be sure to smash up that like button if you haven't smashed the like button yet. And we'll keep on bringing it here at Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And I'll see you all very soon. Stay well and have a great Tuesday wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.